Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. This week I thought I would show you all the books that are on my physical TBR. Now, I do not have a ton of books. I try my best to borrow or do Kindle, but lately I have been into buying more physical copies. And so my physical TBR has grown a little bit. But I thought it would be fun to show you what I have so far. I actually have a lot of TBR still on my bookshelf. Actually, most books that I have are not read. I tend to just get rid of or sell books that I finish. I don't like to hold on to them. So unless they're books that I absolutely love, that I know I'm going to reread, I will keep those, or if they're like very special to me. But mostly I will get rid of them and unhaul them as soon as I'm done reading them. Some of the books that I own are not mine. They are my friends' copies that they have let me borrow. We like to pass around books and just let each other borrow so that we can get all the use out of them. So you will see some copies and I'll let you know the ones that I'm borrowing. But for the most part, these are all my copies. So let's get started. All right, currently this is my TBR cart. And I just moved out of the way, but typically it would be sitting over there next to my desk. I'll show you my stickers that I have. I am a Throne of Glass and an ACOTAR fan. So I have quite a bit of those, as you can tell. They will probably be my all-time favorite series for a long, long time. I love the Surreal Tea one. Okay. So right up front, I have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I have The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. Love her. She's probably my favorite romance author right now, along with Abby Jimenez. I am doing a Riley Sager marathon video, and so I'm reading all of his right now, and that you'll see that to come. The Grazier, this is a book that I'm borrowing from a friend, and both her and my other best friend absolutely loved it and gave it 5 stars. I have the Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I am in the middle of, but I've been putting it on hold because there's been quite a few books that I needed to get done, so I may just have to push this off to another month. I have Legends and Lattes, which is a cozy fantasy. I don't know if I'm going to love this because I didn't realize there's some content in it that I do not care for in books, but I'm still going to try it out. If I don't love it, I'll just DNF it. I have Juniper Bean Resorts to Murder, which is another cozy mystery my friend Yvette absolutely loves. And I have Magnolia Parks, which is also a book I'm borrowing from a friend, Leah, and she and I are really excited to get into this series because our friend Jordan and Kaitlin absolutely loved it. The next book I have is Wildfire, which my best friend Leah bought for me. I didn't love Icebreaker. It was way too spicy, and so I DNF'd it. But I am willing to try this one out and see if this one will turn out better. The next book is another borrow read, and this is Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley, and this is another borrowed read from my best friend Leah. This is one of her favorite romance authors. She gave this one 5 stars. I have not read anything by Rebecca Surley, so I am excited to try it. These two are also borrowed reads, Unravel Me and Ignite Me in the Shatter Me series from my friend Leah, and so I'm excited to get to those soon. A lot of these I'm actually borrowing from my best friend Leah. Bad Blood, which is the last book in the Natural series. This is a YA thriller, criminal minds type series, and I'm borrowing this from my friend Talia. She absolutely loved this one, and I'm going to be butter reading this one actually this week with Hannah. The next one I have on my list is Ruth Ware in a Dark Wood. I really enjoy Ruth Ware's thrillers. I still kind of consider them a little bit more of a cozy mystery. I know that's not what they're considered, but compared to some other thriller authors I've read, I just feel that she's a little more tame. The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Both of these I purchased from the library for like $1. So we like to go to the library sales and buy used books for cheap. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is very popular. I'm a little nervous about this because it has content in it that I was not aware of, so it may be a DNF for me, but I have not read anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The next book is Dead in Gondola by Anne Claire. This is a cozy mystery, I believe, that I also scored as a thrift buy from Goodwill. The next book that I have is The Stand-In by Lily Chu. This was a book that I got from Goodwill, and it is a romantic comedy type of a book. And then next I have Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And this is a thriller that I am excited to get into. I haven't read anything by her. The next book I have is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I also haven't read anything by her. This would be a I'm not sure what classified as a rom-com, but more just like contemporary romance. And then the next book I have to try is another Ruth Ware, One by One. I got this also at Goodwill. Pretty great copy, by the way. You can score a lot of really great copies at Goodwill, just saying. So I check that pretty regularly, as well as the library sales. Then I have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. I have not read anything by her, but it is a fantasy, and I'm pretty excited to read it because people say that if you love Throne of Glass that you would like this series, so I do want to get into it, but it is such a long series that it's just going to be a time commitment that I have to make once I start it, and so that's the reason it's taken me a while. I'm not going to take these out because they're hardcover and they're kind of hard to get out, but I have The Frozen River, and this was obviously from Book of the Month, and it is a historical fiction book, I believe, about midwives, so I'm excited to get into that one. First Lie Wins, which is another Book of the Month and is a thriller. And then The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth, which is also a thriller, which I think is more of a psychological thriller. Then next I have The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery, which is another borrowed book from my best friend Leah. And then I have the second in the series of Legend and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust, which stinks because if I don't like the first, that's going to be a bummer, but I was just really excited about that series. I still think that I will give it a try. The Secret Book and Scone Society, which is a cozy mystery. I'm saving it for an event coming up, I think in June or July. And so I'm really excited to get to that. Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. I absolutely love Lynn Painter. I have only read her YA romance, so I know that her adult romance has some spice in it. So if you do not like spice, don't read her adult, but her young adult is clean, and I absolutely loved those, so I wanted to try her adult. And then The Perfect Marriage, which is a thriller. It's been out for a while, Geneva Rose, and I haven't read anything by her. The Nurse's Secret, which is a historical fiction. I love historical fiction, and I saw this at Goodwill, so again, another good find. Night by Eli Wiesel. I have not read, but historical fiction. The Tattoo of Auschwitz, I think is how you say the name. And this is another historical fiction. A Girl They Left Behind another historical fiction. I scored all of these at the library or Goodwill. The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Again, I haven't read anything by her, but I'm excited to try them out. And this is kind of like, gives me the Just Like Heaven vibes, if you've ever watched that rom-com. River Sing Me Home, which I heard a lot of people loved last year, historical fiction, and it is a beautiful cover, but I'm not going to get that out again because it's hardcover and they're really hard to get out of my TBR cart. Beneath the Scarlet Sky, again, another historical fiction. Lilac Girls, historical fiction. And The Song of Achilles, I actually do not know what genre that is. It may just be a fiction or literary fiction. I'm not quite sure, but found it at Goodwill, and it even had sprayed edges, so I'm pretty excited. I just threw some stickers on the corners of these that I just got from my seed packets because I love to garden, so if you don't know that about me. I also got some stickers that LeaBeth sent me and some random ones. All the cool kids are reading. I think I got that in an Etsy thing, a tomato plant. Travel. And down here, just a couple more book stickers. So obviously I haven't filled in everything on this side of the TBR cart. I will eventually when I find another series I loved. I have this book sleeve that I just got from Bestie Book Sleeves, and it's just more of a floral type with salmon color inside. So I'm excited about that. Final Girls by Riley Sager. I'm currently reading this on audio, but this is my friend Talia's book that she let me borrow. I have When the Moon Hatched, which I just purchased from Target, and I'm very excited about this. This is really blowing up right now, but it is a chunker. Next, I have Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is from the library, so not my copy. Doing it for a video. Atomic Habits and Love Walked Among Us, which I was supposed to get to on one of my TBRs and didn't. If anyone does Booktube, are we surprised? But I am reading a different Christian read. I just ended up picking up something else because I felt like I was just being led to a different Christian read. But I will get to this eventually. I just purchased this one, Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, because Amazon was having crazy sales, and I got this for $7. This is my last Abby Jimenez book to read. Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is an ARC copy that my friend Liv sent me. She had a couple ARCs she was unhauling, and so I just paid shipping, and she sent me these two, only if you're lucky, so I was pretty excited to get my hands on those. Thank you, Liv. A Fate Inked in Blood was another book of the month by, and a lot of people, I feel like, are kind of mixed reviews on that one. The Golden Couple was from the library, I think I got it from, so it was a good copy for, like, I don't know, $1 or $2, whatever I paid for it. What is this? Oh, this is a God's Generals book, Revivalist. I do want to get to this. Really, really love Robert. Let me show you his name because I'll butcher the name. Liardon. I really love his books on Christian, kind of like the history of Christian revival and revivalists. You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. This is another book that I'm borrowing from my best friend Leah. One Day in December, Josie Silver. My best friend Leah bought this for me. I'm obviously saving it for Christmas time. Nora Roberts, Vision in White. This is for a video that I still have yet to do. And then Heartless and Powerless by Elsie Silver. I read the first one in this series and really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to continue the series at some point. So that is everything that is on my TBR cart, and I will take you guys upstairs to my bookshelf. I can't remember if I showed you guys this. Live and Let Chai is also a Bard book by my best friend Leah. I'm doing a buddy read currently with Jules on that, so look forward to that review. Okay, this is my bookshelf upstairs. I've had to separate and put my bookshelf things upstairs, my TBR cart downstairs. My husband's office is up here now, and so I've created an office downstairs and just split up books because I do not have space for these downstairs. So these are all my Christian nonfiction books, and I'm not going to pull all these out, but there is My Utmost for His Highest, Puritan paperbacks. I think my sister gave me this one, so I don't, the rare jewel of Christian contentment, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Fearless Parenting, Dreams Revealed. My friend Heather bought me this. Psalms, Spurgeon writes notes on the book of Psalms in here, so it's really nice. Prophetic Evangelism by Sean Smith. Really love this book. I will be keeping that one and rereading. The Believer's Authority by Kenneth Hagin, absolutely loved. We'll be keeping and rereading. Fearless, someone gave me this book, so I do not know anything about that. Friendish, I'm borrowing from my friend Leah. Blood and the Glory. I need to finish. I had started this a long time ago and then got distracted, so I need to get back to it. Book on Revelation. This is actually a really great book on just kind of teaching you about the book of Revelation, because we all know like it's very confusing. So I highly recommend that. I have not finished it, but when I was reading it, it was really good. Uncommon Christian by Randall Richards. This is my best friend Leah's dad that passed away last year, and he gave me this book right as at the last time I saw him. And so it's special to have that, and I will be reading that, and I'm excited that he gave me that. Worship Without Limits was a great book by Philip Renner. I will definitely be rereading that one. I think this is just a Bible journal as well as this one. Okay, and then I have Simplicity Parenting, which is a great book on parenting, minimalist parenting, and I need to finish this book. I lost it when I was in the middle of it last year and then found it, and so I need to get back to it. You can see where I had stopped. It was really good. Denmark said it. I actually used this for all my kids when they were babies. I really loved this for just the baby stages. Fiber Fueled, have not read, but want to eventually, about gut health and food for gut health. Herbal Dispensary, Growing Vegetables, and another garden book that I have. All these up here are books I need to list on Pengo. Okay, so then I have Blood Air, which borrowed from my best friend Leah. Just finished that, so look forward to that review. Excellent book. And she scored that at the library. Tell It to Me Singing, which is an art copy that Leah gave me because she got two. Lynn Austin, Through a Water's War. She's a Christian historical fiction author. Highly recommend her. Oceans Apart by Karen Kingsbury, another Christian author that I absolutely love. Her Redemption series is my absolute favorite. These two obviously have not read. All of this is like I haven't read, except for, if I tell you. Karen Kingsbury, Just Once, got at the library. This is a series by Ted Decker. He is an excellent Christian thriller author. Highly recommend him. I have not read this series, but I have read another series by him, and I really, really loved it. Nora Roberts, Northern Lights. I've never read anything by her. I just picked this up at the library. It just sounded interesting. Behind Her Eyes, also haven't read. Got from the library. Silence That Binds Us, got from Goodwill. Fever, got from Goodwill, and it was on my list. I just really wanted to read this, but I think this is I think it's a middle grade book. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Daughters of Occupation, historical fiction. Tide Watchers, historical fiction. Another Nora Roberts book. This one just sounded really good to me because I love Montana. Never been there, but I've just always loved it and wished that I could live there. This is a series, Jeanette Oak series, that my sister absolutely loved. And so I do want to get to it eventually. She reread this twice, and she said it was amazing. And so I do want to get to that. And Recursion, Blake Crouch, is a sci-fi, sharp objects, thriller, haven't read. I got this at the library, but I may end up unhauling this because I just don't think I'm interested anymore. Gone, Lisa Gardner, got that at the library. Lisa Gardner, One Step Too Far, got at the library. You Are Not Alone, thriller, got at the library. How Lucky, I think is another thriller. I got that at Goodwill. What Rose Forgot, I think I got that at the Goodwill. And Free Fall I got from the library. And down here I have a bunch of cozy mysteries. I just did a haul on this, so I'm not going to go into depth about them, but these are all the cozy mysteries that I have acquired that I still need to read. And then Kristen Hanna is one of my all-time favorite authors, so I want to read everything she's ever written. I have read these 3. I have not read these 3. So I just got them from the library, and so that's why this copy is beat up. And then I will probably unhaul this because this is not a copy I want to keep, but I will be keeping these 3 for sure. And then these 2, it'll just depend on if I really love them or not. Lady Clementine, I think, is a historical fiction. Yeah, all these are historical fiction. Got these from the library. This is an excellent Christian historical fiction series. One of my all-time favorites. I highly recommend reading this one by Lynn Austen. I will be rereading that again one day. This is the first in the series. During the time period of slavery, and it's very good. And then The Secret of Miss Astor is a Titanic historical fiction, so I'm excited to get to that eventually, as well as Orphan Train, I've heard is good, but don't know a whole lot about this. I need to find a better place for this because I've had to change a lot on my bookshelf, so that will not be staying there. I just don't know what to do with it. Study in Drowning, I got this off of Owlcrate. I didn't even know anything about this book, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing more about it, so I would like to get to that eventually. Obviously, the ACOTAR series, one of my all-time favorites, I will be rereading. I got this off of Temu. It is a little built-in. You obviously have to build it, and it's super cute with a light under it, but honestly, it's cheap because the light blinks all the time. Crescent City, read this one, have not read this one. Gave this 4 stars. Not my favorite of Sarah J. Maas at all. Down here I have, this is just a journal that came from Owlcrate, and Project Hail Mary, sci-fi. Atlas 6, I believe, is sci-fi. Again, I haven't read any of these. The Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, fantasy. Until the Stars Fall, which is fantasy. Omen of Ice, it was another Owlcrate edition that I got. I don't know anything about that. And these 3 are from my friend Talia, the Cruel Prince trilogy. She just said it was like mid for her, so I don't know when I'll be getting to that. Spark of the Everflame has been blowing up all over Booktube. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. And so I am excited to get to that one. Priory of the Orange Tree, huge chunker book, but I've heard great things about this series, and I am excited to get to it one day. Then I have a Firebringer series, an Ember of the Ashes, and that's like the 3rd or the 2nd book in this series, I forget. And I got that all at the library, so they aren't all like matching copies. I think it's a YA fantasy series that I do hope to get to eventually. Risen Motherhood is a Christian book. I really, really enjoyed this one. This is one I will keep and highly recommend, as well as Well-Watered Women is one of my all-time favorite Christian books that I've ever read, and I will be rereading that one. Highly recommend it. And then these are my classics. So this is from the Puffin and Bloom collection. Sense and Sensibility. I love these editions so much. Pride and Prejudice, which is my favorite. Emma. And we have Little Woman, which I am going to probably be reading around Christmas time. I have watched the older movie, but I am excited to get into those. I have not read the books by Jane Austen, but I did watch Pride and Prejudice, the movie, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies, so I do want to read the book. A Little Princess, Secret Garden, and Anne of Green Gables. I got this in a 3-pack at Ollie's. I think it was like, I don't know, like $15. It was super cheap. It's like a cloth type book. Probably not my favorite edition, but it was such a good deal. And I did now finally read The Secret Garden, and I really liked it a lot. So, Anne of Green Gables, I watched all the movies and absolutely loved, so that is probably going to be one of my all-time favorite series for a long time, and I do want to get a better copy of Anne of Green Gables and read it eventually. To Kill a Mockingbird, I've never read, so it's one that's on my list of classics that I want to read, as well as Gone with the Wind. Ignore the mess. It came off one of my plants. Gone with the Wind, I want to read, and it's so large, but I do really want to read it. I started it a while back and again got distracted because I had so many things I was reading, so I want to revisit that and read that for sure. So that is the overview of my bookshelves. I thought it would be fun to also show you my little collection I have here. I just got this from Faith in my Patreon. She gave me these little bookmarks. So I thought I would just go over my little bookmarks I have. The sunflower I just got from Faith, absolutely adorable. She also gave me this, love. My daughter made me this for Mother's Day. Hold on, it's not focusing. Absolutely love it. My husband made this. It's pressed flowers. This one I got off of Amazon. Obviously, it's ACOTAR, so I really love that one. These I got from a friend. I'll link below, but she makes these and sells them on Etsy. So we have Throne of Glass. That one was Crescent City. This is about Nesta. This is my other daughter's Mother's Day bookmark she got me. This was from Faith as well. This one I just bought off of Etsy because I really loved the book Yours Truly. This one I got from Catherine Center. She had people mail a letter with our address on it and a stamp, and then she sent us all a bookmark that matched her new book coming out. One of my favorite books ever. I read this as an ARC. It was my first book by her. 5 stars. This is not focusing. I think this came with my Etsy purchase. And then these 3 are magnetized. They're just bookmarks with verses on them. I have a couple leather heart corner bookmarks. I have some Friends magnetic bookmarks because I love Friends. And just some stickers that I got also from Faith, and I got this dish from her. So I hope you guys enjoyed my bookshelf tour and my TBR shelf tour, and I know that it's kind of like scattered and not the most organized. I definitely want to fix up my bookshelf, but I just don't know exactly how I want to. And so I just thought it would be fun to take you all along and show you all the books that I have. Like I said, most I have not read, so I have a very large TBR. But if you made it this far, I would love for you to just put a book stack emoji below and let me know a book that you are looking forward to reading in the month of June. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.